So James Clear reminds us that you do not rise to the level of your goals, you actually fall to the level of your systems. Today, I'm going to walk through the system that he lays out to ensure that you break bad habits and actually build the good ones. In his book, Atomic Habits, he details how by making small strategic tweaks to your daily routine, you can spark lasting change and finally break free from unproductive habits. Stick around until the end, where I will share some advanced tactics that will really help you ensure that you are on the right path to building new habits. In Atomic Habits, James Clear defines atomic as the smallest unit within a larger system. The tiny habits that can really lead to huge transformations. He shows how a mere 1% improvement every day can actually compound into being 37 times better over a course of a year. Now, I've personally experienced how small, consistent tweaks can dramatically improve both my finances as well as my health when intentionally practiced over time. Now, there are 4 laws of behavior change that really help us get rid of bad habits and build good ones. Let's take a look at each of these laws in detail. The first law is to make it obvious. To make it obvious, first start by creating a habit scorecard to spot your daily actions from when you get up in the morning until you go to bed at night. Make sure you write everything down. For example, wake up, turn off alarm, check my phone, brush my teeth. Then go through and label each with a plus if it's helpful, a minus if it's harmful, or an equal sign if it's neutral. This way, you'll see which routines support your goals and which ones are really holding you back. Next, turn the new habits you want into crystal clear plans. Literally write it out in the format of, I will have it at time in location. For instance, I will do yoga at 7 a.m. in my living room. This kind of specificity dramatically boosts your chances to follow it through. Now that you have a plan, utilize habit stacking. To habit stack, put your new habit into the format of after current habit, I will new habit. So for example, if you pour coffee in the morning, you might say, after I pour my coffee, I will read 1 page of a book. By linking the new behavior to something you already do, you create a smooth path to growth. Finally, arrange your surroundings to make good habits just jump out. If you want to practice guitar more often, place it right out in plain view. If healthier snacking is your goal, keep fresh fruit on the counter. When the cues are obvious, sticking to new routines feels more natural. By using these methods, you'll make positive habits automatic and weed out the bad ones, laying a really strong foundation for lasting change. Now that we have some insights on the first law, let's dig into the second law of behavioral change. The idea is that if you can make your desired habit more appealing, you will be significantly more likely and more motivated to stay on track. One effective way to make this desired habit more attractive is through temptation bundling. This is the idea of pairing something you want to something that you actually need. For example, if you love binge watching Netflix, but you've been putting off daily walks, decide that you will only watch your favorite show when walking on a treadmill or pacing around your living room. By doing this, you will link a pleasurable activity with a healthy behavior. This method actually leverages your inherent desire to gratification, ultimately making the good habit more enticing. It also helps to surround yourself with people who already practice the habits that you're trying to adopt. If you dream of reading more, join a local book club or an online reading community. James Clear points out that our inherent desire for social acceptance often drives us to mirror the behaviors of those around us. By choosing communities that support our goals, you'll naturally feel more motivated to follow through. Finally, don't forget to shift how you talk to yourself. Instead of saying, I have to go running, try, I get to strengthen my body and feel energized. By emphasizing the positive outcomes, you will frame your new habit as a privilege rather than a chore. So now let's move to the third law. Make it easy. Instead of relying on willpower alone, simplify your environment and routines so good habits become the path of least resistance. Imagine you want to work out first thing in the morning. By laying out your exercise clothes and sneakers and your water bottle the night before, you eliminate the need to hunt for them in the morning. This tactic is known as priming your environment. When your gear is out front and center, you are automatically nudged towards action. Clear's next strategy is the 2-minute rule. If your habit takes less than 2 minutes to start, you've removed a big hurdle. Let's say you want to build a reading habit, but always find yourself saying that you're too busy. Commit to reading just 1 page a night. When the requirement is that minimal, there's little excuse to skip it. Over time, these tiny steps accumulate into progress without feeling overwhelming. Part of making it easy is lowering any friction around your habits. If you plan to eat healthier, keep fruits and vegetables washed and visible in the kitchen counter. By contrast, stash junk food on a high shelf where it's hard to reach. The easier it is to do the right thing, the more likely you'll actually do it. On the flip side, you can also make the bad habits you are trying to stop more difficult. If you're trying to cut down on TV time, unplug the television after each use and place the remote somewhere inconvenient. The little extra effort for you to go and watch your favorite show may just be enough to help you pause and reconsider doing it. So by priming your surroundings, shrinking tasks to 2-minute chunks, and adjusting friction levels, you'll discover that sticking to good habits and ditching those bad ones actually becomes surprisingly straightforward. Embrace these small changes and watch them add up to a healthier, happier life. Now, the fourth and final law of behavioral change is make it satisfying. Now, this principle hinges on our desire for instant rewards. As James Clear says, what is immediately rewarded is repeated. What is immediately punished is avoided. In other words, if your brain gets a quick payoff, it's far more likely to keep going. An example of this that was given in the book was where the health worker Stephen Lubby collaborated with a soap company. Together, they introduced a soap that lathered luxuriously and smelled great. Because it felt so pleasant, people were naturally drawn to wash their hands more often. This actually led to change in their community, reducing illness. The moral of the story? When something feels good right away, we're eager to do it again. So, how can you apply this to your life? First, make your good habits rewarding from the start. One easy technique is habit tracking. Each time you complete a desired behavior, mark an X on the calendar or maybe even just check off a box. Seeing that growing chain of benchmarks becomes its own little win. By pairing immediate pleasure with your new behavior, you turn it into something worth repeating. When tackling bad habits, flip the script by adding a bit of immediate discomfort. For example, if you're trying to curb impulsive spending, agree to donate a fixed amount of money to a cause that you actually don't support. Each time that you make an unplanned purchase, you have to make that payment. The sting of losing money to something you dislike can be just enough to keep your spending in check. In the end, by making positive habits instantly gratifying and negative ones unappealing, you align with how your brain naturally operates, paving the way for consistent, satisfying behavioral change. So now we've walked through the 4 laws, but as promised, there are some advanced tactics to really make these new habits stick. But before we get there, please like this video and subscribe to this channel to help me hit my goal and keep making these videos. Now, ever wondered how some people transfer those tiny daily routines into these massive results that really make you stop and think, how did they do that? According to James Clear's Atomic Habits, it's all about harnessing advanced strategies that elevate average habits into exceptional ones. First, instead of locking your sights on those lofty endpoints, design a system that supports consistent action each day. Clear reminds us, you do not rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. For example, if you dream of writing a book, create a routine of writing a certain number of words every single day. That shift from a distant finish line to a daily process not only reduces overwhelm, but also fuels steady, visible progress. Next, step into the identity of the person that you inspire to be. The most effective way to change your habit is to focus not on what you want to achieve, but who you wish to become. Think about rephrasing, I want to run, to I am a runner. By embracing an identity consistent with your goal, you naturally align your actions with the self-image, making your habit more likely to stick. Finally, Clear's Goldilocks rule holds that motivation flourishes when tasks are appropriately challenging. By steadily challenging yourself at the edge of your abilities, you are more inclined to stay engaged and improve over time. Whether you're learning an instrument, mastering a new language, or refining a fitness routine, push yourself just enough to spark growth without burning out. When you've implemented these advanced tactics, system-based thinking, identity-driven habits, and strategic goal setting, you'll break free from unproductive patterns and discover the momentum needed to excel in every aspect. Harness the power of these principles and watch your ordinary habits grow into something truly remarkable. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey through James Clear's Atomic Habits. We've looked at all 4 laws of behavior change. Make it obvious, make it attractive, make it easy, and make it satisfying. Each offering straightforward ways to break old patterns and form healthy routines. By focusing on systems rather than just goals, you'll find consistency easier to maintain. Embracing identity-based habits helps you align your actions with who you want to become, making positive behaviors feel like second nature. And by pushing yourself just enough to stay motivated, what Clear calls the Goldilocks rule, you'll continually build on your skills without burning out. Over time, these little actions accumulate into meaningful results, financially, physically, or in any other area you're working to improve. It all starts with recognizing that real, lasting change doesn't come from one massive effort, but from the daily practice of simple, powerful habits. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. That way, you won't miss any future tips on leveling up your habits, productivity, and personal growth. Thank you for watching, and remember, building a better life begins one tiny habit at a time.